It is a chilly Friday evening, and Eric stands by the window of his dimly lit apartment, his breath fogging the cold glass. Outside, the city hums faintly, distant traffic, a few scattered voices, and the occasional gust of wind brushing against the building. The quiet weight of the night presses in, mirroring the heaviness in his chest. After a long, grueling week at work, something gnaws at him, an unease that no amount of routine can soothe. The question that has lingered for months now surges to the surface. Is this really all there is? The voice of despair creeps in like a slow, chilling fog, tempting him to retreat into the familiar: work, sleep, repeat. Yet beneath that cold whisper is another voice, quieter, yet far more resolute. It tells him a different truth, a truth that has long been buried beneath the noise of daily life. Real change begins from within. In that stillness, something shifts. Eric's hand rests against the cool glass of the window as a profound realization settles over him. If his life is to change, he must be the one to change it. The simplicity of the thought reverberates through him like a deep bell, awakening something long dormant. For the first time in months, he feels a spark of hope, a flicker in the darkness. The internal war between despair and hope rages, but Eric chooses. He will not surrender to the bleakness threatening to consume him. But how? How does one truly escape the grip of a life that feels stagnant? The answer isn't clear, and the unknown looms large, like a shadow over his thoughts. Then, like a flash of lightning across a stormy sky, a memory surfaces: his friend Liam. Eric recalls how Liam had completely transformed his life after embracing Stoicism, a philosophy that seemed to give him a new lens on the world. This memory, like a faint light in the distance, pulls Eric forward, stirring a small but undeniable sense of possibility. As he crawls into bed that night, his mind refuses to quiet down. The noise of the day fades, but his thoughts grow louder. Amidst the whirlpool of uncertainty, one idea crystallizes. If Liam could change his life with Stoicism, why couldn't I? If you too have ever felt trapped like Eric, suffocated by the monotony of routine, consider this your invitation to break free. In this video, we will explore how the timeless wisdom of Stoicism can help you reinvent yourself, just as it has for countless others. Let's dive into the steps that will guide your transformation, starting today. Step 1. Start small. Eric stands before the bathroom mirror, gazing into his own eyes, the reflection of a version of himself he no longer recognizes. His heart pounds with the weight of the unknown. In this quiet, intimate moment, the desire for transformation surges within him. Yet it is shadowed by a daunting question: where do I begin? The path to reinvention can feel like staring up at a towering mountain, its peak hidden in clouds. But here is where Stoicism offers profound guidance. True change begins with the smallest of steps. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, wisely said, "Well-being is realized by small steps, but it is no small thing." Imagine constructing a grand cathedral, stone by stone, brick by brick. Each small action, each deliberate choice is like laying down another brick in the architecture of your future self. Though the task may seem insurmountable, these seemingly insignificant steps are what build the foundation for lasting change. Stoicism teaches us that transformation is not about sudden, sweeping changes, but the steady accumulation of small, deliberate acts. Much like the concept of atomic habits, even the tiniest of actions, when repeated consistently, can lead to profound shifts. Take action today. If you aspire to be more present in your relationships, start with a single gesture. Smile at a stranger, or listen to a loved one without interruption. Each small act may feel like a drop in the ocean, but remember, it is the small ripples that can reshape the shoreline of your life. Dream big, but remember, every profound transformation starts with one small step. Today, make the decision to take that first step. Step 2. Stop letting anxiety rule over you. The rain drums against the window, a relentless symphony of storm and shadow. Inside, Eric feels the familiar unease stirring, his mind swirling with doubts, fears, and the ceaseless what-ifs that keep him awake at night. Restless, he reaches for an old book, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, one Liam once pressed into his hands, saying, "This will help." Flipping through the pages, one line strikes him with the force of a thunderclap. Today I escaped anxiety, or no, I discarded it, because it was within me, in my own perceptions. The words sink in, heavy and true. In this quiet moment, Eric realizes something he had never truly grasped. His anxiety, his fears, they aren't coming from the world outside. They are born within, shaped by his own perceptions. The storm isn't outside, it's in his mind. And just like a storm, it can be weathered, dissipated, and replaced with calm. Anxiety, he now sees, is like a thick, suffocating blanket, familiar but stifling. To let go of it feels terrifying because it means stepping into the cold unknown. But it is in that cold, in that discomfort, that we learn to kindle our own fire, to generate warmth from within. Marcus Aurelius's words remind us, anxiety doesn't happen to us. It's the lens through which we see the world. By shifting that lens, by choosing how we interpret our challenges, we free ourselves from its grip. Ask yourself, what thoughts, what perceptions are fueling your anxiety? Can you change the way you see the world to lighten the load? The power to rewrite your narrative lies in your hands. Step 3. Create a routine. As Eric's journey of self-reinvention unfolds, he begins to realize that fleeting moments of motivation aren't enough to sustain real, lasting change. Reflecting on the highs and lows of his week, he recalls the words of Seneca, "Life without a design is erratic." The phrase hits him like a key, unlocking a long-closed door. Without a clear design, even the most well-intentioned plans can unravel. Life without structure is like wandering through a dense forest without a map, hoping to stumble upon your destination. What if you had a compass, a routine that guided you toward your goals, step by step? Eric starts to see that creating a routine doesn't mean shackling himself to rigid schedules. It's more like building a scaffolding for growth, a structure that supports his aspirations. He begins by identifying his high-energy moments, the times when his mind is sharp, his creativity alive. These become his sacred hours, reserved for personal development and reflection. What does your routine say about who you are becoming? If it's not aligned with your aspirations, now is the time to make a change. A well-crafted routine doesn't restrict you. It frees you to become the person you were meant to be. Step 4. Give yourself the order to stop. One evening, Eric sits at his desk, lost in thought, reflecting on his life, the habits he clings to, and the progress he longs for. He recalls a story about Dwight Eisenhower, a man known for his unwavering discipline. At a pivotal moment, Eisenhower made a life-altering decision with a single command. He told himself to stop smoking. That one simple choice rippled through his life, changing not just a habit, but the course of his discipline. As this story lingers in Eric's mind, he realizes something powerful. He too holds that same ability. It isn't grand gestures or monumental efforts that spark change. It is often a single decisive moment. Epictetus's words resonate deeply. No man is free who is not master of himself. Eric realizes that reinvention doesn't always mean adding more to his life. Sometimes it requires subtraction, stopping the behaviors, thoughts, or habits that no longer serve him. The power to stop, to give himself the order to cease certain actions, is a form of liberation. He can choose to stop doubting, stop fearing, stop living beneath his potential. Take a moment to reflect. What is holding you back? What can you give yourself the order to stop? Today, decide to stop letting fear, doubt, or complacency dictate your choices. Freedom begins with mastery over yourself. Step 5. Free up precious resources. Eric sits on the edge of his bed, scrolling through his phone, the soft glow of the screen casting shadows across his face. Hours slip away unnoticed, consumed by mindless scrolling, fleeting distractions, and tasks that offer little value. A sudden pang of frustration washes over him as he realizes how much time has been lost to things that don't truly matter. Stoicism teaches us that our most precious resources, time and attention, are finite. Once spent, they can never be reclaimed. Seneca's words echo in Eric's mind like a distant drum beat. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. He decides to take stock of his time, tracking how each moment of his day is spent. The results are sobering. Hours that could be devoted to growth, creativity, or connection are swallowed up by distractions. Eric begins to make changes, small at first, but with great effect. He says no more often, no to unnecessary obligations, no to social media when it serves as a mere escape, no to things that don't align with his goals. Ask yourself, where is your time going? What are you giving your attention to? By redirecting your focus and saying no to distractions, you can free up space for the things that truly matter: your growth, your dreams, your reinvention. Step 6. Do something difficult. Growth rarely comes from comfort. Eric realizes this truth one morning as he stands at the threshold of a decision he's been avoiding for weeks. A difficult conversation with a colleague, a task he's been putting off, a challenge he's been too afraid to face. It's easier to stay in the warm cocoon of the familiar, but deep down, he knows that true transformation demands more. Seneca once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." The words hit Eric like a cold splash of water. The very things he's been avoiding, the discomfort, the challenges, are the things that will make him stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Steeling himself, Eric steps into the challenge. It's not easy. His heart races, doubt creeps in, but as he pushes through, he feels something shift inside. Each small victory against the difficult fortifies his resolve. Each step through discomfort brings him closer to the person he's becoming. Ask yourself, what difficult task have you been avoiding? Choose to face it today. Each small triumph over adversity builds your resilience, carving out a stronger, more capable version of yourself. The path to reinvention is paved with challenges, but it is in facing them that you grow. Step 7. Surround yourself with people who make you better. Eric's journey toward reinvention brings him to a new realization. The people he surrounds himself with either lift him up or pull him down. He reflects on the time he spends with certain friends, those whose conversations drain his energy, whose negativity seeps into his thoughts like a slow poison. Then he contrasts that with his time spent with Liam, who radiates positivity, ambition, and wisdom. Seneca's words come to mind. Associate with those who will make a better man of you. The truth is simple but profound. We become like the people we spend the most time with. Eric begins to seek out relationships that elevate him, choosing to spend more time with those who challenge and inspire him, like Liam. He doesn't cut ties harshly, but he gradually distances himself from the people who drag him back into old habits, into mediocrity. Reflect on your own relationships. Are the people in your life helping you grow? Or are they holding you back? Surround yourself with those who inspire you to become better, who support your journey towards self-reinvention. The company you keep can be the difference between staying stagnant and soaring to new heights. Step 8. Stop fearing change. For much of his life, Eric clung to the familiar, wrapping himself in the comfort of routines and resisting the pull of the unknown. Change felt like an unwelcome guest, one that stirred anxiety and fear. But as he delves deeper into Stoicism, he begins to see change in a new light. Marcus Aurelius reminds him, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." The very fabric of existence is woven from change, and resisting it is like standing in a river, trying to stop the current with your hands. Instead of fearing it, Eric decides to flow with it. He embraces change not as something to be feared, but as an opportunity for growth. Each shift, each unexpected turn, becomes a doorway to something new, something better. Eric lets go of his tight grip on the past and steps into the unknown, trusting that change, though unsettling, is the catalyst for his reinvention. Ask yourself, what change have you been resisting? See it today not as a threat, but as an invitation to evolve. Change is the heartbeat of life. Embrace it and let it guide you toward your next chapter. Step 9. Say no to the inessential. As Eric streamlines his life, he begins to realize that transformation isn't just about doing more. It's often about doing less, but with greater purpose. He recalls Marcus Aurelius's advice. Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? These words become a compass for his decisions. Eric looks at his calendar, his commitments, his to-do lists, and starts clearing away the excess. He cuts out the distractions, the obligations that no longer align with his goals, the habits that waste his time. By saying no to the inessential, Eric creates space for what truly matters: his growth, his passions, his relationships. Take a moment to examine your own life. What are you giving your time and energy to that doesn't serve your growth? Clear away the distractions, the noise, the unnecessary tasks. In doing so, you make room for the things that truly matter, the things that move you closer to your reinvention. Step 10. Return to rhythm. Eric knows that reinvention isn't a one-time event. It's a lifelong process. There'll be moments when he stumbles, when old habits creep back, or when the path forward seems unclear. But Stoicism teaches him that this is not failure. It is simply part of the journey. Marcus Aurelius's words offer comfort. You always have the power to return to your path. Reinvention isn't about perfection. It's about resilience. When life knocks you off course, you don't give up. You pause, recalibrate, and return to the rhythm of your growth. Eric learns that the key to lasting change is persistence. Each day, he recommits to his journey, knowing that setbacks are part of the process. He embraces the rhythm of reinvention, an ongoing dance of effort, reflection, and renewal. Remember, reinvention is not about never falling. It's about always getting back up. When life pushes you off course, return to your path. The rhythm of your progress is what shapes your future.